Good day, wonderful viewers. You're welcome to your darling station, the Living Television. We are at it again today. I have a special guest in the house, and we are going to take a glossary look at what he has done. I am talking about no mean person, but Honorable Engineer Solomon Engr Adelu. Honorable Adelu is the man representing Osisioba, Ugunabo, and Lobingwa Federal Constituency. Today, he is here in the studio with us. Honorable Engineer Solomon Engr Adelu, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, we understand that you are the person representing the three local governments, Osioma, Ugunabo, and Lobingwa Federal Constituency. Honorable, want to know, what is the major function? Because I know you are not an executive, and I also know that you were elected to represent your people. So let us know, first and foremost, what are the functions of a federal House member?
Thank you very much. Yeah, first of all, before I delve into the question, I would want to seize this moment to thank my constituents and those who have the opportunity to listen to this program, and also commend the owners and the organizers of this program, particularly the Living TV CEO, who have lived beyond what we have expected. The owner of Living Television, which is St. Moses Obonna, started from a very humble beginning, and today he has a media house. It's quite commendable. I must commend your efforts and what you've done so far. Having said that, I want to thank my constituents, first of all, for giving me the opportunity to have represented them in the last 7.5 years. I am grateful, and I believe I have also served the people very well, for which I would to reel out most of the things I have done within this past 7 years. So to answer your question, the function of a legislature is just very simple. There's a lawmaking and oversight to oversee the executive and ensure that appropriations in the various years' budget is properly implemented. The implementation of a yearly appropriation and its supervision is what the National Assembly is concerned about. These are the two primary functions of a legislature.
All right, talking about oversight function, a lot of people talk about that. And down to your constituents, I'm not sure everybody understands what that oversight function is all about. Can you just give us a little explanation of that?
Yeah, first of all, before I say that, I want to draw the attention of my constituents to because of the importance of this very question, and as it relates constituency project and of oversight functions. I had to come up with a bill that seeks to set aside 2.4% of our total annual budget for the even development of our various constituencies. So it's a bill that had gone through various levels, and I hope that bill will be passed and enacted into law. So
can we have a look at that bill? Let's have a look at that bill. Let's have a clip of it on air so that our viewers can equally, be part of it and witness to what he is talking about. Let's have a look at the bill.
To give legal backing to constituency projects, create constituency development fund, provide processes and procedures for their implementation, and ensure transparency, accountability, and probity, and also ensure that the public is properly educated on how these funds are applied. Mr. Speaker, every year members of the National Assembly are required to identify projects in their various constituencies and recommend same to the executive during budgeting. We do not have direct control to the implementation of these projects. The award, financing, and supervision of these projects are the exclusive preserve of the appropriate MDAs, and of course not the National Assembly. However, Mr. Speaker, this has generated a lot of controversy in the public and of course within our various constituencies, because the general notion is that these funds are released directly to members of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I've had an experience with one of my constituents who approached me some time ago and requested that I provide part of these funds to him once it is released to me. Mr. Speaker, Nigerians are yet to understand that constituency development funds are not given to members of National Assembly. Since these funds are made available every year, it becomes important, Mr. Speaker, that we give legal backing to these appropriations for their implementations, for even development of our various constituencies. Mr. Speaker, it is important to also stress that majority of Nigerians reside in the rural areas. According to statistics from National Population Commission, 65% of Nigerians reside in the rural areas where we hardly have presence of the federal government. If this bill is passed, we will have...
All right. Yes, Honorable, it is important to notice this, and also this is what it happened at the floor of the House when we were making a bill. So let us just in a minute explain that bill.
Yes, the general notion for a legislator is that the funds are released to the members of the National Assembly, the House of Representatives and the Senate. The funds are given to us to implement projects. I was just trying to correct, coming by way of amendment of the Constitution, to give legal backing, to make mandatory, put into law constituency project. Constituency project is not a creation of the law. So that is why the government can play with it. They can decide that they will implement this year and they wouldn't implement the other, even when an appropriation has been made. So, but I decided that it was important that we come by way of amendment of some sections of the Constitution to enshrine it in the Constitution and make it mandatory, give it its own status. Beyond that also, create a constituency development fund. Because if you look at our various constituencies, which are very rural, you can hardly find the presence of the federal government. It is only this constituency development fund that is meant for constituency projects that is domiciled within these rural areas that can have direct impact on the people. So why don't you give it legal backing and explain to the people, make the people understand that the appropriate ministries and agencies of the government are the people who are in charge of awarding the contracts and of course its supervision. What the National Assembly member does is to recommend projects to these organizations, and it is reflected into the budget. So that was exactly what that bill was about.
All right. Yeah. There was something also you said when you were making your presentation. You said that most of these, when they talk about constituency project and so on, just like a lot of laymen will always think that these project funds are given to the members, members representing their various, is that true?
That is exactly what I have tried to explain. Constituency project funds are not given to the members of the National Assembly. When appropriations are made, or at the beginning of every appropriation year, members of the National Assembly are expected to identify projects of priority within their various constituencies and submit to the various agencies of the government to be captured within their own budget. It is left for those agencies to award those contracts to the contractors and also make payment directly to the contractors. But then, the function of the National Assembly member is to oversight and ensure that these projects that are appropriated for are properly implemented in the various areas that are located.
Okay. Yeah, because most often you hear people talk about this person has represented us has eaten our constituency allowances and so on. So you're telling the public that these things are not handed over to the members.
Yes, even though these monies are not handed over to the members of the National Assembly, but the member can also influence these projects where they are located, and also influence who, gets the contract actually. For me, within the period of 7 years I've been in the National Assembly, I've been able to attract 38 projects, 38 verifiable projects that are littered across the 3 local governments I represent.
Well, we are going to look at the projects. We are going to look at the project. But before we look at the project, I want to ask, because I remember barely 4 years away in office, there was a time, I think my station was also there to have covered, I think, a caterpillar, rollers, for road maintenance and grading. Was that not as a result of the constituency allowance or whatever?
Thank you very much. I am happy you asked this question. I am very emotional about the question you just asked and what I did in my first tenure as a member of the National Assembly. When through our constituents, and of course by the grace of God, I was elected into the National Assembly in 2015. I had a covenant, and of course that's why I regard myself as the messenger. My intention is to impact very meaningfully on the lives of our people. Immediately I got into the National Assembly, haven't seen during campaign how bad our rural areas were, the rural roads were. I decided that I was going to have a program called All Year Round Rural Road Grading. So in order to achieve that, I went to the clerk of the National Assembly and demanded to be given my allowances and my salaries for 4 years as a loan through a bank. The clerk of the National Assembly sat with GTB Bank manager and myself. We decided, I took the entire loan and went to China. When I got to China, I purchased 12 brand new earth moving equipment, 3 graders, 3 bulldozers, 3 compactors, and 3 payloaders. Brand new, brought it down to Nigeria to ensure that this program was to be properly implemented. I invited the governor. I invited the leaders of our political arena and so many other people to witness the first of its kind, a member of the National Assembly who left his luxury and comfort and used the money. Members of the National Assembly are giving 8.5 million every month. That's what we get. But I took it as a loan. What was coming to my account for that 4 years was 1.2 million naira, as against 8.5 million. I got this equipment on the 4th of January 2017 rather. I invited Abians and every other person and inaugurated committees to take care of the rural roads in the 3 local governments. This exercise started. As of today, we had graded 217 rural roads across the 3 local governments I represent. I must tell you, when I say that I'm emotional about this program, what I have done, because I believe that it is the first of its kind in the entire Southeast. There's no legislator who has committed so much money in ensuring that will provide proper leadership within its constituency. But unfortunately, immediately this happened, after I had inaugurated and the work started, it didn't take up to 6 months. And we started having issues with the government of Abia State. It was an experience that made it almost impossible for me to go back to the National Assembly. So I will actually talk on this if you give me an opportunity. Let me allow you, exhaust your questions.
Yeah, I think what you just said here, I think this is a very wonderful enlightenment to listeners and viewers out there, because they believe, nobody would ever want to believe that a serving member will have to take loans with his salary. That is what we call salary advance, yes, to ensure that his people are happy. Now, a lot of people always believe that is a constituency allowance. I'm happy you've said this. All right, Honorable, going forward, we will want to look at some of those projects, because I don't know whether it was through a grapevine or one of the contestants from one of these political parties were saying nothing has been done. But those of them who are on ground and who are still on ground, and even as we speak today, I'm sure so many of them responded to that statement, knowing fully well what we have done. Please let us look at some of these projects, and as we look at them, you explain to us where they are.
Thank you. Let's look at the first project, which is the power station.
Let's look at the first project, the number one, the power station.
Is this not live? Is it live?
It's live. It's live and recording. Sure. Short break, and we will be back, and we will come back, and then we will continue. And then we are going to continue with looking at some of the projects, done and built by the honorable member representing Obingwa, Sioma, and Ugunabo Federal Constituency. We'll be back in a jiffy. Don't go away, keep watching Living TV.
And so you can keep on watching Living TV. I can say in pidgin English. Living TV. Nade Kampe.
Living TV, bringing the word first to you. First to you.
me to enjoy myself. I love you.
Have you heard that Living Television, the latest satellite station on SatView channel, is received all over Nigeria and Africa? You can watch Living Television on every free-to-air HD decoder, including Strong HD and CSAT HD. Why keep paying for monthly subscriptions when you can have fun for free? With Living Television, you can watch lots of wrestling, football, documentaries, and Nigerian films, including discussions and debates on current Nigeria issues. Watch free live matches on La Liga Spain come Serie A, Italy come Bundesliga, German League 1, and French matches on over 80 premium channels. Wow! You can also sponsor your programs such as live church services and crusades, political rallies, burial and wedding ceremonies, promotional interviews, announcements, advertisements, documentaries, and commercials. We are situated at number 1 Jeji Street off Ikorebane Road, Aba, Abia State. For further enquiries, call 0805 367 3900. Signed, Management.
I love you.
Thank you. I'm glad you're still there watching Living Television. Remember, I am here seated with the Honorable Member representing Obingwa Ugunabo Osisoma Federal Constituency, Honorable Engineer Solomon Adelu. Now, Honorable, let us look at some of the projects like we said earlier, and let us look at, I think, the first one. Let's look at the first one, that is the mini, what did you call it?
Substations.
The substation. So can we see it on air, please? This is the substation.
Yes.
Where is it?
Yes, this project is located at Abaya area in Osisiomongo local government. It was attracted because of the need to provide power for the artisans and people who do business within the area cluster. So it's a project of 2.9 billion naira. So it is expected that at the completion or when the project is energized, the area international market and the entire people within the shoe plaza would have constant light.
Constant power supply. All right. Okay, that's it. And for those of you who are there who are watching, you can always call in because there is a saying in our place, in our proverbial Igbo language, that a watch in the wrist needs no mirror to be checked on. That's exactly what is happening here. You can always call us in on 091-682-84994. I take it again, 091-682-84994. You can call in, make your contributions, or ask questions if you are in doubt. All right, let's move on. Yeah, recently, Honorable, somebody said, I don't know whether it was a word from a drunken person. Let us look at, while we are waiting for the second project or the next project that you've carried out to come on air, I also want you to talk about this. For somebody to come out and say that for the past 7 years they've not experienced or felt your impact in these 3 local governments, what is your reaction to that?
Yes, frankly, I took a serious exception to that statement by one of those who have expressed intention to replace me in the National Assembly. I had thought that everyone would have confined themselves to issue-based campaign and tell people what you've done and allow them be the judge. But unfortunately, they started name calling, and of course, this has been the tradition since this government came in place, since 2015, when all of us labored and worked so hard to bring this government in place. A lot of young men who surrounds the governor, constituted themselves as very powerful cabal that decides what happens and all. And of course, it had degenerated to a point where majority of them the governor had even empowered. A lot of them, the governor of Abia State had done so much for them. But today, they are against the governor. All of them are running against the governor. And most of us, and some of these people were the people who did not allow us have access to the government of Abia State throughout this period. And unfortunately, it is this same group of people that are running against the interests of the governor. So for someone to come out to tell people lies, to say that Solomon Adelu hadn't achieved anything in the National Assembly, these are pure lies. I have done 38 projects. I have done 5 hospitals. I have built roads. I did 2.4-kilometer road at Agalaba in Osisioma local government. I have a 10-kilometer road, a 10-kilometer asphalt road that I'm doing in Obiunwa. I am going to go on site supervision any moment from now, so that our people will see what I have done. I have digitized more than 17 primary schools and secondary schools within my federal constituency. Put a lot of computers to ensure that they are able to access the present education as innovations evolves. I have also trained a lot of people. So some of these projects I have documented, and of course, I will make them public so that our people will know. And of course, when that fellow made that statement, I threw a challenge to him. I told him, look, if you think I haven't achieved anything, that I am saying that I have done 38 verifiable projects within my federal constituency, and I gave a challenge, and I'm even putting money on top of it. Tell me those who have been there, that have served before me, who have done better than me.
Let's take this call on. Hello, this is Living Television, live with Honorable Engineer Solomon Adelu. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your contribution or question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Honorable, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
It's my pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Chibuzo.
Okay.
I'm a native of
Okay.
community.
Okay.
Right now, I'm calling from Lagos State.
Okay.
Yeah, I traveled to Lagos. I'm somewhere right now. So I discovered that there was a program going on. So I decided to keep in. I saw Living TV and I saw your face. So it's my pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Professor.
Yes.
It's my happiness to see you again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please, I want to ask honorable question.
Go ahead.
Honorable, sir.
Go ahead.
Please, I want to know what is happening between the express road leading from Osisioma down to this so-called old Aba Express Road.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, this is a very relevant question. I've been asked this question time without number.
Okay.
At the inception of the 9th Assembly, I moved a motion calling on the federal government of Nigeria to come and do a very quick repair of Osisioma Ekagbara Abadepo Road. It was a motion and of course I did a documentary, a compilation of photo album of the condition of the roads, and engaged the minister. I showed the minister the importance of that road, particularly a road that has the only an NNPC depot within the southeast. So that contract was actually awarded after my intervention to a company. If you go from Owerenta, if you begin to come from Owerenta, you will find out that there's a contractor that is already on this road for quite some time. Okay. They had started from there to do the road. And again, we noticed that the state government had also awarded this contract again, beginning from Osisioma Junction to a particular area. And there was a conflict which took a whole lot of time before it was resolved between the federal government and the state. And of course, in 2023 appropriation, we ensured that funds were made available for the contractor who had already started the construction of that. The construction of that road is ongoing. And of course, it started from Owerenta area down. That is why our people have not felt it. But I believe that by this budget year, it would work would be expedited within the road.
Okay, Honorable, yeah, we are seeing a lot of projects, both the ones that are completed and the ones that are still going on air as they are being telecast. Right, Honorable, you know, there was something you said here that is so touchy, and in the history of politics in Nigeria, I'm not sure I've heard that. Maybe we'll take this call and then we'll continue. Hello, Living Television, a live interview with the Honorable Member representing Hon Engr Solomon Adelu. Yeah, your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, so my name is Indika. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay.
Yeah, so you are doing a wonderful job. Not this is my first time of seeing the Honorable Member.
Okay. You're welcome.
My question is to the Honorable. This express linking Port Harcourt and Aba. You notice that along that what's it called? Before Port Harcourt. What is that place called? Before that river, something like that.
Okay.
The road from that place to Port Harcourt is very bad. Sometimes if I'm going to Port Harcourt now, I have to spend hours going to Port Harcourt. The people that are doing that road, I think the Honorable is in charge of that side too. The contractors are there, they are very good in doing all this.
Okay, you know that is not his constitution. That is not his constituency. But I know we have something to tell you about that. You know, but that is not his constituency. We are discussing the federal constituency. Honorable, do you have any repeat on that?
Yes, I was trying to know exactly the area he was talking about and which part of the road. Port Harcourt
Road. Talking about Port Harcourt Road down to Express.
I think the Arab contractors are handling the project. Is it the project handled by Arab contractors?
Yes, but he's saying that the thing is very dull. It's moving in a very snailish.
Yes, I think the funding of the project also affects the speed at which the project moves. It could be funding, but I believe they have been properly engaged and they're working on the road.
All right, what I was saying shortly before this call came in is in the history of Nigerian politics, I'm not sure. A lot of people who go there to make their money. I'm not sure we've had this experience, what you explained here, you know, mortgaging your salary for almost that the number of 4 years within your first tenure to procure these, machines to ensure that our roads are better. If you look at the screen, you see, I'm sure this was a sort of a palliative or whatever. I mean, giving to transporters and so on. And so it's unheard of. And we will want you to throw all light on it. Hello? Hello? Hello. Yeah. This Living TV, your name and where you're calling us from. First, with that, please.
Okay, Prof. My name is Sukuma.
Okay.
So I'm calling from Ghana.
Okay.
My question to the Honorable, what are you doing about those people, those Agoro at Oklahoma Junction, and those people that need to pass their trainer every time you see people to package trainers happening?
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I want to say that there's a local government chairman whose responsibility it is to, take care of those, Abore people and the rest of them. That's their job. It is not my job. I am a legislator, but I have also taken note of the concern you have raised, which is that the people who are the Abore people are causing nuisance within the area, and of course would look into it.
Yes, Honorable, before we go, though the time is not much on our side. Now, we also know recently your billboards are seen everywhere, and then and that billboard, because we know you were elected under the platform of the PDP.
Yes.
What is happening? Because the billboard we saw now. Okay.
I want to talk.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, yes, right now I had left PDP to ABGA. I'm a member of ABGA. I left PDP in protest of the way the elections were conducted, the primaries were conducted. Fortunately, I got the ticket to represent our people again in the National Assembly. I'm a member of ABGA as we speak. What led to my exit from PDP is because the PDP did not handle its primaries transparently. The man who was given the ticket for PDP is not someone you would, any of us would think would have gotten that ticket. This is an old man who's an elderly person to most of us. If PDP had given this ticket to the likes of Dr. Oke Wambo, the likes of Mekarachi Ikonyewak, or Eze Bonwa Obane, these are very quality gentlemen who would have what it takes to, wear the shoes that I'm wearing and do a proper representation of our people at the national level. But I do not know what date when we will come to the National Assembly today. It was a very big mistake from the beginning. And of course, I watched and saw that there was a very serious imbalance in sharing, apportioning positions within the three local governments I represent. The governor of the state is from Obingwa. He was elected with me for 8 years. The senator is also from Obingwa. He's been in the National Assembly for 16 years. And now, the governor had gone to take ticket to run for the Senate. Then he tells me, that was also elected with him, don't go. It is the turn of Ndugu Nabo. Well, he himself, he has the ticket and he's going to go to the... Then I didn't understand the rationale, the morality in telling me, if the governor wasn't running election, and he's telling Solo, don't run, we're not going to run, because I think we have done well. Let us move the Senate of Abia South to either Okwa East, Okwa West, Abanot, Okwa South, or even Ogunabo. It would have been understandable to me. But that didn't happen. I saw a local government, if you go to Obingwa right now, all the contenders for Senate in the three major political parties are all from Obingwa. So head or tail, an Obingwa man must be a senator in 2023. Now another young man has taken tickets to run for federal house in the same Obingwa. And I'm watching and looking at how everything is playing out. The man from Ogunabo, that the PDP have given the ticket, doesn't have the finesse, it doesn't have what it takes to really drive the process. It doesn't have it, it's missing. Nobody has seen him. So And I'm watching the Obingwa man being adopted by his people. So at the end of the day, what will eventually happen if I do not contest this election is to have an Obingwa man go to the Senate, and you also have an Obingwa man go to the Federal House. That is a very serious injustice to my people. Then what is left for us? That is why I have decided I am going to engage our constituents and let them know what I have done in the last 7 years, and also challenge anyone. Either you are elected local government chairman, appointed commissioner, you've been in the National Assembly House of Rep, or whatever position you have held in the past within Obingwa, Ugunabo, and Osisioma Federal Constituency, whatever position you have held, it is a challenge I'm giving, apart from the governor and of course distinguished senator. Let anybody that have held any position come out to say this is what he has done over and above what Solomon, even half. None. And I put money on it. I have performed better than my predecessors. I have performed better than any other person that has a position, that have held any political position, either elected or appointed within this federal constituency. And I need to let our people know what I have done.
Okay, Honorable. Yeah, it is important to clear the air just like you've done, why you had to go over to Abja. But another question is, because of, if you look at the slogan of PDP and so on, how effective do you think this your defection is going to help this your contest this time?
Yeah. In fact, I think everything is God's design, actually. If the PDP had given me ticket, I would have been in a very serious mess. I would have been in a serious problem. What is the PDP right now? What is happening everywhere? The PDP is almost non-existent. They are almost non-existent. Take it local government by local government. Can't you see there is crisis everywhere?
Let's take this call. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Living TV. Your name and where you're calling us from. We're live with the Honorable Member representing.
Okay. My name is Engr Solomon.
Okay.
I'm calling from Ogunabo.
Okay.
I'm actually enjoying this program, so I want to ask the honorable question.
Okay.
I want to ask about schools. Some of our schools here is not conducive for proper learning. So I want to ask the honorable, what is he going to do to ensure that our children receive quality education as we campaign to go for the next term? Because I know that education is very, very important. I want to know in the same part what he's doing to make sure that our children get quality education. Because from my own village, I know that some of the primary secondary schools, there is no student anymore because of the nature of the school. And also, and the teachers are old too. So I want to know what is going to do to solve this thing that happened to our schools in Ogunabo. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Just to answer your question, I have actually invested a whole lot of our constituency project fund into education. I have built a whole lot of schools across the 3 local governments. I have built schools, I have renovated schools, I have digitized so many schools also. If you go to Ihe in Ugunabo, you will see Ihe Digital ICT Center, which I set up with the computers, power stations, and all that. You go to Obingwa, you will see another digital center. You come to Osisioma, you see 3 or 4 digital centers which I have put in primary and secondary schools. There are a lot of schools I have built, if they can show it on the slide, both in Sokwa and the Ugunabo, Obegu in Ugunabo. I did a 6 classroom block. And of course, there are other schools which we have put in the 2023 appropriation. Believing that those such projects will be awarded and also executed. Yes, I'm interested in education, and I think we have done very well in the area of renovation of school, renovation and equipping of schools within our federal constituency.
All right, I'm sure you get that. I'm sure you get the answers right, and then He's talking about the schools, and then most of the schools he talked about were displayed on the screen here for all of us to see. Right, Honorable, talking about your contest this time in 2020, you've talked about the crisis in PDP. What is the assurance, that, because a lot of people, some of your members in the then PDP, are they aware of your defection to your new political party this day?
Yes, I must say that there is no one that is in my federal constituency who is not aware that I have left the PDP. I left the PDP long ago, and I'll be expressing my intention under the platform of ABGA. And to tell you the truth, when we got the ticket of ABGA, I didn't know that ABGA had such a stronghold, very serious grassroots within my federal constituency, and of course within Abia State. ABGA is a party to beat. They have done very well. For every meeting of ABGA I have attended, I see massive number of people who are eager, and you look at them and you see their spirit. They are determined to change the government. These are people who have been out of the government, who believe that they have not benefited anything from the government. So they are committed. You can't bribe such people. And of course, they are evangelizing the good news of ABGA within the grassroots. I am very confident that ABGA is going to do well across the 3 local governments.
Yeah, I know you are here for yourself, by yourself, and for yourself, and also for your constituent members. Now, talking about the defection, recently a man who is representing Abia South in the Senate, in the name of Senator Enyi Abaribe, is also now in there and is contesting with the incumbent governor of the state. And then, what do you think is going to play out in this election?
Well, you know who Abaribe is. Senator Enyi Abaribe, as far as I'm concerned, was the man who led the struggle for the liberation of our people, the Ngwa people. You see, a lot of our youths that I see on social media who write all kinds of things, they don't have any knowledge of our history. They don't even know how we started and how this was. There was a time in Abia State, the Ngwa man was not even considered as anything. We were not given any chance to even express ourselves, even in governance. The Ngwa man was belittled, were looked down on. But there were very few people, very few courageous Ngwa people who staked everything they had to ensure that our people came out from that subjugation. The success of the governor, or the emergence of the governor in 2015 of Okwangwa extraction did not start then. It was a concerted effort. We ventilated this issue across Nigeria, an entire state, that there was need to transmit power to the Ngwa man. Who were the people that were the veterans, the people who did this battle? Unfortunately, those of us who are at the forefront of this battle are not the beneficiaries of the struggle. Those who fought against this struggle are the very beneficiaries of the struggle. And of course, that is why they do not have the sense of history of where we're coming from. But my greatest worry is that the younger people do not know who the oppressors are. The political system has weaponized poverty to the point that the only interest some of these young men have is when you give them money. Their enemies just give them money and use them to fight their battle, but without knowing that these are the real enemies. And I ask these young men, assess me and assess all the people you gave your mandate to represent you at various levels. What have we done? To what extent have we been able to impact on the lives of the people? That is the major question they should ask. And it is a challenge I'm giving them, and I'll continue to give this challenge. If there is anybody who has been in a position within my 3 local governments that have performed better than me, let me see the person. Of course, there is none. Because my project speaks for themselves. There is no place in the 3 local governments you will not see my signature. So, who else have done better? If there is nobody that has done better than me, so how can anybody say that I have not performed? As someone who took loan with his salary and allowance, I didn't go on convoy. You haven't seen me on convoy before.
Not for once.
I didn't do that. that sacrificed all that luxury and comfort, took this money for the purpose of ensuring that our rural roads are properly maintained. I invested it in it. 6 months after this exercise, the entire establishment turned against me. I started having problems with the governor. Majority of those boys, these young men who were around the governor, are the greatest problem the governor has. They created so much problem. They didn't allow people who could give the governor good ideas to even come close. And unfortunately, there's some of these people are against the governor today. These are people who are running around trying to bring him down. And of course, that's the way life is. So all I'm trying to say is that my constituents, if they give me another opportunity to represent them, this time around, I am going to be a committee chairman. There's no two ways about it. I am a ranking member. I will be a ranking member of the National Assembly. By the time I get into the National Assembly the third time, I'll get a very good committee which will impact more on the lives of our people. I'm not bringing in greenhorns, people who do not. You need to. The legislature is not just a place you go. If you're just new, it will take you a long time for you to climb to the ranks. So why don't you use your best, the people you know that have worked, and of course give them the mandate to do more for the constituents.
All right, Honorable, recently the Elders Council of Hon Engr Solomon, which I'm sure you are a part of, came together to adopt a particular candidate for the governorship, and then because of the political arithmetic between the Old Bende and the Okangwa people, and they came up to adopt a particular person in PDP as a governorship person. Now you are in Abga. Are you in tune and also in line with that adoption of another Okangwa man? Because I know there is a candidate for Abga.
I am not in PDP again, so I'm not in a position to discuss anything about PDP. PDP has their candidate. Abga has its own candidate. So I can only talk about my candidate, and of course not any other political party candidate.
So outside the religion and the ethnic attachment, and you're talking about your candidate for Abga?
What was the ethnic consideration? What was the ethnic consideration when the governor and the PDP in the state sat down and decided to appropriate powers to people without considering those who had made so much sacrifice for this land? What was that all about? Come to my local government, for instance, in Osisioma North, where you have 5 wards. A particular ward have gone to the the House of Assembly for 16 years. Where you have 5 wards, 1 ward have been in the House of Assembly for 16 years. You talk of equity. You're telling Solomon it's not your turn. And you went to that same ward and gave them back ticket again to go for another 24 years. And all the other wards will be looking at you. And you turn around and tell Solo that have done only 8 years, don't go. It is some people's turn. I mean, I don't know how the moral justifications you even have to even say such thing to me. How will I understand it? What are you living for my local government? When I engaged the governor about the transition program, I was of the opinion that he was going to hand over to the YPP man, who is my friend and my brother. That was my understanding. I quickly went, called the young man, and said, well, if the governor is truly going to hand over power to you, there won't be any point in my running the election. I called our people together and raised his hand and said I was going to support him. But after a period of time, I started hearing that there is another direction of thought that is not that way. And of course, he left my local government to another place, and that's why I'm running. If you are not choosing from my local government to give power, you can't leave Osisioma empty. Osisioma have contributed so much in the formation of this very administration. Unfortunately, that we don't have so much.
Okay, Honorable. All right. Talking about the projects that you've undergone, and then what is your message to your constituent members, the 3 local governments that you are representing?
Yes, my message to my constituents is that you should be aware of very wicked propaganda by people who believe that they have this instrument of power, who believe that the same electoral process that they have experienced over this past period of years is what is going to also happen. People who believe that they will determine the fate of every other human being. You should be wary of these people. They have said some malicious lies out there. They have vilified my person. But what is important is for you to know what the truth is. I have said in this program, and I'm going to say it in so many programs, I have attracted 38 constituency projects, built 5 hospitals, fully equipped. One is about to be also equipped. On the 10th of February this year, the Anglican Diocese of Abangwa will be at the stadium I'm building, and of course I'm going to hand over a general hospital to one of the biggest hospitals we will see around that I have built and equipped. I'm going to hand it over to the Anglican community for proper management. And of course I have a stadium, which is an ongoing project. You have all the sporting facilities in it. I wish you can come for a media tour.
Yeah.
I want to organize a media tour so that these things I'm saying is not just rhetorics, where you can come and see this project one after the other to see that this project were actually done and implemented. It is a challenge, I keep telling them. If they tell you, Solomon Adelu haven't done anything, but tell them they have done 38 projects. What did they do? What did they do? So I urge you to look out for an announcement of my media tour for the project I have attracted, the 38 projects I have attracted for our federal constituency. If you have time, please join the train on that day. You will get the announcement so that I can show the constituent one after the other, project by project, what I have done, and I ask one question. Is there anyone presently serving or in the past that had done that within our federal constituency? If the answer is yes, I will stop campaigning. But if it is no, I will urge you to vote me back so that I can complete the work.
All right, wonderful viewers. I'm sure you are listening and also you are watching. That is the member representing Obingwa Osisioma Ugunabo Federal Constituency. And if you had been with this, if you've been with us in this program, you've seen series of projects as was reeled out in the screen for you to know what it's talking about. What we do here, this station does not belong to any political party, but we believe and what we owe the public is the truth and nothing but the truth. And that is exactly what we are doing here today. And we will want to take your parting word as we leave here. Now that you are in ABGA, and those who elected you, I want to believe we are in PDP. And what are the plans for some of them? Are there some people who defected with you to ABGA?
Yeah, a lot of people left with me to ABGA, but it doesn't make a difference. I am the representative of the people. I am the messenger. So we speak the truth. Whether you are in ABGA, your APC, your PDP, or your YPP. These are the people whom I represent, and these people understand what I have done over these years. Despite all the lies that have been told by those who believe that the power should reside with them, that the power is theirs to control. So that doesn't mean anything. The people understand me. I cannot come, it's not possible for me to come and publish the number of widows I have built house for. I'm a born Seventh-day Adventist member. If you look, it took me time to even begin to display my project. Let's give all the people, we can't give an allowance to come and display them. You don't do a thing.
Let's take this car. Hello, that may be our last caller for the day. Sorry we missed it. Okay, Honorable, yeah, we've seen some of the things done, and then we may be coming to the end of this program. But before we go today, what Honorable has succeeded in telling us is that political party is just a sociological identification. It is not the hood that makes the monk, but the monk himself. That's exactly what it says. It's not about political party. He's not representing a political party, but he's representing the 3 local governments, Osisioma, Obingwa, and Dugunabo. But he was elected through a particular platform that is a political party, but the paramount are the people in this local government. I think, Honorable, that's what you're telling us.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, that is where we are going to draw the curtain today. We are going to come back, and I'm sure if we are duly invited, we are going to follow him to all these projects and also get you a feedback on all these projects, and also urge you to keep watching Living TV, and we will always get the word first to you. And before we go, Honorable, say hi to your constituent members.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening. I will subsequently engage you in a town hall meeting, which will be announced any moment from now, where I would, reel out the project I have done, and also tell you the plan for 2023. Thank you very much.
That's important. He's going to tell us what the plan for the 2023, not just about the election, and believing that God, that with what he has done, that he may be going back to the Federal House to finish what he started. And on this note, this is Chinedum Adele signing off for now.